Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Mwene Kayoba. I'm specialized in firefighting, occupation health and safety, project management. And today I'm presenting a lesson in industrial psychology safety. Industrial psychology safety. And why are we talking about industrial psychology safety? Because we are talking about production and we are saying production should continue in the organization or workplace, and the behavior that is our today's topic should not influence production in the organization. So we are talking about behavior monitoring organization, and we're saying what is this behavior? We're saying behavior is observable and measurable action, reaction, and mannerism of individual or group in response to internal or external stimuli. So when we talk about behavior, we've talked of individual and we've talked of group. Usually group is influenced by external and individually we are influenced by internal. So this behavior or action, sometimes it includes physical, speech, and overall conduct. So when there is a stimuli related unto us, there is a way we receive that stimuli. Others, they will make a movement. Others, they will change in speech. Others, overall, they will perform or both. So it's important to understand behavior as a manager in the organization and as a manager who's also protecting the production in the organization. So we want to talk about factors that influences this behavior. Factors that influences behavior. Number one, we are talking about genetics. Genetics influences behavior. It is, the studies have shown that there are behaviors that we inherit from our mothers, from our fathers, from our siblings, from our grandfathers. And sometimes this behavior, they affect production in the workplace. They affect our well-being in organizations. And some of them, they even develop to an extent that they become a disorder, such as OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. So it's very important that as a manager, you keep checking on behavior of your workers or your workmate. Other factor is the environment. The environment affects our behavior in such a way that there is what we call social, cultural, in the same environment, economical, and physical aspect. I'll elaborate much on the social and cultural. When we talk about social, we are talking about families that we have. How stable are our families? If our families are not stable and our friendship with others, you find that our behavior in the organization or in the environment that we are working, they will be affected. When we talk about economical aspect, it's very important that every manager and every organization, scheme and stakeholders attend to the plight of workers when it comes to economical. I'll give you an example. The smallest example we can give is just to pay salaries. Paying someone, you change the environment and you change the behavior of such an individual. The second point is psychological. When we talk about psychological, there are people that are open to their challenges that they have, and there are people that are not open. So we're talking about two extraversion and introversion. So we are talking about the people that can depend on the environment to make a decision, and we are talking about people that can depends just maybe on the in the books and other stuff to get the or to make decisions. So all these they affect the they affect the environment. So I've talked about the behavior. Now I'm saying, why is it important to learn the behavior as a manager or as a safety personnel or as a person who's involved in the production? Could be an engineer, could be a doctor, could be anyone. Why is it important to learn this behavior? So we're saying that it is important to learn behavior, to learn the behavior of employees, because at times workers are in time pressure. Why are we saying they are in time pressure? They are given tasks. And when they are given tasks, they need to complete tasks on time. They need to complete these tasks on the schedule that they've been given. So they intend to behave or to do these tasks using shortcuts. And when they are using shortcuts, meaning they are becoming hazard to the organization and they are becoming a risk to themselves. So it's very important to understand that we prevent these risks whereby workers, they become so much aggressive to finish the task without realizing on their behavior. So there are employees, when you give them a task, they just want to do shortcuts without following the procedure. Number two, lack of awareness. Employees may be unaware of the risks associated with their actions or maybe not fully understand the potential consequences. In some cases, they may genuinely believing that the unsafe behavior poses no harm. So employees might be unaware of their behavior. So they would think that bad behavior they have towards organization or production or in the organization, it's just normal. It has no harm on production or on themselves. So it's very important as a manager you understand. So you alert them that their behavior is not okay. The other important of understanding the employee's behavior is that sometimes employees misunderstand procedure or guidelines. They might misinterpret instruction or be unclear about the correct way to perform tasks. So it's very important to understand the behavior of the employee, because others, they would think the procedure, they would misunderstand the procedure that they are given unto them to do those tasks. So because of their behavior, they will misunderstand. Because of their culture, they will misunderstand. So when you connect all those factors that affect the behavior, if they misunderstand the procedure, meaning we are saying this employee, it will be difficult for them to last at a workplace. It's either they will be injured or they will lose their lives, or as we proceed. Workplace culture and long-standing practice can influence behavior. It's important also to understand such that when someone has worked in an organization for a long time and has done, let's say, 100 tasks without any challenge, they always challenge you as a manager. This is the way we do things, without realizing that technology and other stuff are changing. So they always tell you to say, this is the way we do things. Now, by saying this is the way we do things, they are becoming a risk and they are becoming a hazard to organization. So hence, the day the environment changes, they will not realize that the environment has changed. So it's very important to realize and also to keep on talking to change the culture and the way they do things. The other one, supervisor influence. The behavior of a supervisor can play a significant role. If a supervisor turn a blind ear to unsafe practice, so there are times when, because maybe our employee have told us that this is the way we do things, and we, as a manager, you play a blind ear, you will discover that your influence of paying a blind ear towards these factors, it will affect the production in the organization, and the hazards will keep on growing and hence causing havoc in the organization. So it's very important that as a manager, so you understand those. We are talking about economical factors. So economical factors, we are talking about how these machines, they are made. Okay, there are machines that were made in 1991 and there are machines that are made in 2000. So they differ in terms of technology and in terms of development. So it's very important that when you understand the behavior of an employee, it will lead you to understand what type of machine you're supposed to give to your workers and what type of training you're supposed to introduce to workers, so that they are incompatible between the machines that are coming and their behavior. The last that we can say is perceived efficiency. Employee might be perceived unsafe behavior as more efficient, thinking it allows them to get tasks done more quickly. So why is it important to understand the behavior? Because employees, sometimes they would think like their behavior, they inherited the behavior from their mothers and fathers. It is the behavior that makes them to do tasks well and faster. I'll give you an example. People who drinks. There are people who tell you that me, I can't do well minus drinking or without drinking or without a bottle of alcohol. I'll do my task well when I've taken liquor. And you being a manager, you also accept that culture. You understand that that is unsafe culture and that culture is not needed because that culture will make that an individual to have short breadth of thinking and short-sighted. So, and understanding employees' behavior, it's a key in improving safety. And we are not only improving safety, but we are saying the production should increase in the organization because behavior falls under occupational health and safety. So what is the task today we are giving? What is the task today we are giving? So we are giving you a task. If you are a manager, let me see the last part. So if you are a manager, we are giving you a last task. Identify one individual in your workplace, analyze their behavior, and ask yourself to say, is this behavior rightful for my organization? So all the reference for this lesson that we have today is you can find it in UK Public General Act of 1974. That's why we've summarized our lesson. So for those that have more questions about behavior, you can contact us on 977-213435. We love you and God bless you, and continue following our page and continue following us. We'll continue sharing resources that enhances safety in project management, safety in the production, or safety in any organization that you may think of. Thank you very much.